Hello everybody, it's Leo here. We're doing a Final Fantasy X HD remaster video, my first one of this game. And it is one of my favorite games of all time, so when they made the announcement that this was coming out I was very excited. And needless to say, I've been greatly enjoying my time with the re-release here. However, there is a rather daunting platinum trophy attached to this game. And by daunting, I mean you actually need to fill in the sphere grid for all the characters in the game. And I don't just mean their little sections, I'm talking about the entire grid. Every empty node, every lock, everything has to be filled with some sort of stat boosting ability and activated for all 7 characters in order to get this platinum. No simple task, to be sure. However, back on the PS2 days, I and one of my best friends and I worked on that. And we developed a nice little strategy that's now relatively common knowledge on the internet. So I'm going to just jump right into that for you guys here so you know how to get it done today and hopefully get yourself some platinum trophies or at least start beating those bosses that have been giving you a tough time. So the first thing you absolutely have to do, and it's kind of a pain in the butt, but it's the worst part of the process I think, is capture 10 of every monster from every area in the game. Now the reason for doing this is twofold. First off, you're going to need some badass bosses to test yourself against when you have the crazy god mode stats, and that's what you're going to get out of these Conquest and original creations that are unlocked by catching all the monsters in the game. But more importantly, for each one of these bosses that you unlock, the monster trainer will give you 99 or 60 of all the game's rarest consumable items, and that allows you to customize all of the best abilities into your weapons and armor without ever having to bribe anything. That's right, I did not have to bribe once, other than a couple of level 4 key spheres that I was too lazy basically to get any other way. So very, very convenient, makes this process go a lot faster and spares you a lot of the guild troubles. So what you're going to want to do is once you get yourself all the 10 monsters of every area, whatever 3 characters you've been using to do that, like in my case I used Tita, Sawaka, and Auron, they should be statistically where they need to be to begin this process. If you're somewhere in the ballpark of 80 strength and like 30 to 40 accuracy, you can start this process. And what you're going to want to do is you go into the species Conquest and you fight One Eye. Okay? He's an Ahriman, or he's made by catching all the Ahriman monsters in the game. Now, the reason why you're doing this is he drops weapons with triple AP already built into them. And more importantly, he actually can drop those weapons and they may have 1 to 2 open slots on them in addition to the triple AP. So if the random number generator gods are in my favor here, I will... Cool, got a Horn of the Ronso for Kimahri. So we're going to just check that out real quick and see. Excellent. So this one that just dropped has triple AP and 2 open slots on it. So what you then do is you go into your Customize menu. Unfortunately, this is all the way at the bottom of my list here. And you can then put either double or triple overdrive. Now, I've already made all 7 weapons, so I'm out of these items, but I assure you, you will have enough naturally to put 3 triple overdrives onto 3 different weapons, 3 double overdrives onto 3 different weapons, or I should just say each of those onto 3 different weapons, and then enough left over for an SOS overdrive on your 7th and final weapon. And truthfully, the difference between these 3 abilities is negligible at best. You're going to be raking in experience either way, so it doesn't matter really which one you choose. Just customize your 7 weapons with the triple AP, which is already on them, whichever one of the overdrives you choose for whichever character, and then the final ability will be your overdrive to AP ability. Okay? It also helps considerably to have 4 different people with a piece of armor on that has Auto Phoenix on it. You'll get, as everything else, 99 Mega Phoenixes from capturing everything. So you can go ahead and put that onto 4 different armors, because it takes 20 apiece. And that will mean at any given time there will always be 1 person in your party that will revive people as soon as they go down. Forgive me for going back. The one thing I didn't mention was double overdrive requires the underdog secrets, and those are given to you by Rin on the airship once you have all 26 Al Bhed primers. That's the only item you don't get from the monster trainer that you'll need for this process, so forgive me, I glossed over that in the moment. Anyway, now that you have your 7 weapons made for each of your characters, you're going to want to go into your Overdrive menu, and there are 2 different ways of going about doing this. I will show you both. The way that I prefer is a little different than this. I'm doing the more standard way because it works guaranteed for everybody. So you put one person on Stoic and everybody else in your group on Comrade, except unfortunately for my Yuna, she does not have Comrade yet. So I'm going to have to kind of just deal with that accordingly. And make sure everybody's equipped with their experienced weapons, of course. And good, okay. So, we're going to go ahead and jump into a battle now with Don Tonberry. Now, Don Tonberry, like all of the Tonberries, uses a move called Karma when you attack him. So, the idea here is you've made these weapons that convert all of your overdrive into AP, and then you're tripling or doubling your... No, you're tripling your AP, sorry. So when I do this here, I have max hate on these guys with Titus. So he's going to get hit for 99,999 damage by Karma, which on his Stoic mode is going to give him a ton of experience. But everybody else that's on Comrade now just got a piece of that for sitting in battle with him. So you can sub people in however you want and just kind of rinse repeat this process. And it will work for everybody. However, the big drawback to this, unfortunately, is that the Comrade Overdrive mode seems to gather experience at about half the rate of Stoic. So it actually is more of a benefit to you if you were to have everybody on Stoic mode and each one of them attacks the Tonberry. Now the problem with that, though, and I'll show you here, is with my Yuna, she has, last I checked, no hate on these things, even though she's dealt damage. So he hits her for 0 with Karma, which means the trick obviously won't work for her. She needs to be in Comrade mode to gain experience this way, which is the one drawback of this method in general, is that it's contingent upon one person sustaining a huge amount of damage and everybody else being in Comrade mode. Now, the other way that will work, and I'll show you here, is, I mean, you can put everybody on Stoic for this fight, which will help if they're taking damage, or, let me go ahead and get him back up and escape here. You'll see, dude, just from doing this a couple times, Titus got over 1 million AP, which gave him about 50 levels. Waka, who was only in for, I believe, 2 of those hits, got 22. Orin got, I mean, you see how quickly you gain experience doing this. I didn't even give it any length of time. So, go ahead and... The other alternative, and I'm not going to show it just because it's the same idea, is you put everybody onto Stoic mode and you go in and fight Cactuar King. And he'll do 10,000 needles as a counter attack, and every so often he'll do 99,999 needles. So, no matter what, if everyone's on Stoic with these weapons, they'll be gaining a substantial amount of experience. Now, you can see how many levels I have, so I'm going to be able to fly across this sphere grid without any issue at all. However, you'll start running into a problem where your power spheres, your mana spheres, and everything naturally are going to run out very fast because you're using them across several characters in huge quantities. So to combat that, you're going to go ahead and make sure you have your celestial weapons back on, or whatever weapon you prefer to use that's not your experience weapon, I guess. And you're going to go into a battle with Kodos, who is under the area Conquest. And the reason for this is he drops stamina springs, I think, by the quantities of 20 or 40 if you overkill him. So you're going to go ahead and... I do this the old-fashioned PS2 way with the distillers because the attacks seem to miss for me every so often, and this is just more consistent. So he will counterattack you no matter what you do. It's a pain in the butt. He will get one-shot a lot at lower levels. However, that's what your Auto Phoenix is for, so it's not really a big deal. He'll only take one person out at a time. And if you have an overdrive like Titus or Waka's up, it'll usually one-shot him once you start getting any amount of stats. Excuse me. So, really not a big deal. You can use that to take him out quickly. I'm just going to kill him off naturally here. And so long as you don't get quote-unquote unlucky and proc the dark matter drop, you should get 40 power spheres or whatever item you used to distill. So you can keep your stock right here and just keep yourself fresh on everything. So now the last step in this process is the actual stat maxing. So I would recommend when you're first starting this process, you do one wave of that for every character, so they get about 70 to 80 levels to move around and get a nice hefty boost. Once everyone's stats are like, you know, strength's over 100, like into the low 100s, defense is in the 50s and 60s, your accuracy is probably around 50 to 60. Once you hit that range, you can start dealing with the species conquest monster bosses. And these are the ones that are important to you because these are the ones that drop your stat spheres. It's the ones that actually give you the +4 to whatever stat on the sphere grid. So I prioritize 4 stats first by way of perpetuating the process. I focus on strength, defense, magic defense, and accuracy. And the reason for that is strength's a given. You'll kill things a lot quicker and be able to overkill them for the 2 stat sphere drops instead of just 1. Defense and magic defense will keep you alive because a lot of these bosses have counterattacks or just really insane stats that'll hit you for a lot. And then accuracy, there's an accuracy threshold on a lot of these that's usually over 100 or close to. So you want to have that, well, honestly a lot of them are even higher than that, but you get what I'm saying. So what you want to do is Hornets drop the accuracy spheres. One-Eyes, which will be farming for your weapons anyway, drop magic defense. And on the second page, Tankets drop defense, and Juggernauts drop strength. And I fought each one of these 10 to 15 times because that will give you 20 to 30 of whatever respective stat sphere they drop, which is 80 to 120 of that stat once you put it into the sphere grid. So with that, your characters will be close to 200 or above 200 in conjunction with everything that's naturally on the grid. And that'll allow you to take on some of the harder things and really kind of fill in the gaps. What is going to make your life difficult is luck if you plan on doing it, which I will be very honest with you guys. Since I did this on PS2, I'm just trying to efficiently get my Platinum Trophy. I am not going to bother with luck. I might not even get every other normal stat to 255 other than the key ones. But if you wanted to do it, I believe it is Catastrophe drops the luck spheres themselves for luck +4, and then Earth Eater drops the fortune spheres needed to unlock them. And he is the only way to get fortune spheres in the game other than the ones you get throughout, like treasure chests and rewards in the storyline. The last little thing to point out, and this is just for those who want to be true completionists, once you unlock almost all the bosses, the Monster Trainer will start selling these clear spheres. And what these do is they allow you to delete a node off the sphere grid. So it won't work on locks, but it will work on other stats. So what most people do is they delete all of the luck off of the sphere grid and replace them with more useful stats. For example, like, you know, your strengths or your HPs or that kind of thing. Some people go so far as to take off any stat for any node that has any stat +1 or 2, or sometimes even +3s get deleted, so that way only +4s are on the grid. To me, I completely understand the idea of having that quote-unquote perfect file, but it just seems a little bit impractical. You can really dominate everything in this game without having to do that, and you can earn your Platinum Trophy a lot faster by not doing that. So it's really what your priorities are. As I stated, mine right now is just to get my Platinum as quick as possible. So with this method, you can go from farming your first weapons on One-Eye to being done with the sphere grid in probably 5 to 6 hours if RNG is in your favor. It's not an exceptionally painstaking process, not nearly as bad as I remember it being as a kid doing this the first time. So anyway, now that I've given that to you, you can see here I've only just begun the process, but with 85 levels I'm going to be able to jump all over the place, and any area that I've already crossed over gives you get 4 moves for 1 level. So filling in those blank nodes or going back to areas that I skipped over, like this little chunk here, is just a joke. You'll get there and get it done really quickly. So anyway, folks, I want to thank you as always for watching. I am really doing my best to try and get this channel up and off the ground, so if you like what I do, if you're interested, please don't forget to subscribe and check out some of my other videos. I've got a pretty good assortment of video games in there, mostly RPGs, but you got your fair share of action games and what have you. So if you like game reviews, game soundtracks, game let's play videos, anything game related for the most part, I'll have on my channel. So don't forget to stop back in and check out what I've got. Thank you all again. Take care.